Okay. So we're just going to go right to the action.
Welcome to the championship match of Pro Tour Valencia. I'm Randy Bueller here with Brian David Marshall.
Hey, everybody.
It's been a long weekend. We had a flood. We had 10 rounds on Saturday, 3 rounds this morning, top 8. It all comes down to one match for the Pro Tour title, one match for $40,000 and 25 pro points. The match will be between Andre Mueller. There you get a good look at him. The German player is running an Enduring Ideal combo deck. Looks like he just suspended a pair of Lotus Blooms on his first turn. He really wants to cast that 7-mana white epic spell. Puts an enchantment into play every turn. Can't cast any more spells, but doesn't need to. His opponent, a 16-year-old French player named Remy Fortier. Remy's playing a deck very popular in Magic Online, described as
Countertop Goyf.
Countertop Goyf. It's got trinket mages. It's got a lot of utility. It's got a lot of ability to sort of fetch out little card advantage engines and really control the game.
It's a really elegant deck with a really inelegant name.
That is not a very good name. It's true.
Seems to have an answer for every situation.
And it seems fun to play. It seems very complicated because it's got a lot of different directions it can go. But most relevant to this match, it's got 4 counterspells, and it's got 2 copies of Venser, Shaper Savant.
And it's got trinket mages to go get Chalice of the Void for 0. Stop those.
Good
stop
point.
Those Lotus Blooms.
Yeah, Chalice 0 will stop the Lotus Blooms. And then the damage is usually done by Tarmogoyf. He's only a 1/2 right now, but
he gets bigger quickly.
You get a good look at Andre's hand. He's got the Enduring Ideal. He's got a Burning Wish.
Although it doesn't look like he has any. It doesn't look like Remy actually has Chalice of the Void.
Really?
I'm looking.
Never mind then.
70.
No, he does not. Not even after sideboard.
That's too bad for him, because I think Mueller seemed to have everything he needed in his hand. As Lotus Blooms resolve. And it looks like Fortier played a Swamp. Going to be hard to threaten 2 blue mana with a Swamp in play. Well, there's Burning Wish. What does he go get?
He goes get some Vindicate.
Leasing through his sideboard.
Gets Cranial Extraction.
Cranial Extraction is the play.
He's like, those Ventures scare me.
Do you take the Ventures or the counterspells?
60.
Tarmogoyf comes over for 2 more.
It's actually only 1 right now, right?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Where's the top? No 3rd land for Remy Fortier. The Lotus Blooms kick down.
1 more turn.
Mueller draws land 3 off the top. Decides to put it into play tapped.
Not in a hurry.
18. Oh, no, you're just looking in. Sorry, I thought it was special.
48 tops. Draws.
15.
Looks like a 3rd land. So Counterspell is now being threatened.
Except.
But he goes for Tarmogoyf.
No.
Interesting. I'm not sure I would have done that there.
Hey, you just want to.
Those 2 Lotus Blooms are about to resolve. I mean, maybe he needs to.
It looks like he can show a stifle. He's holding a stifle there.
Ooh. Actually, not sure Stifle's enough. Did Mueller pass the turn?
No. This is.
Still main phase. He's cracking the fetch lane because. He stifles the Lotus Bloom, stops it from resolving. Makes sense.
Fine, I'll take this one.
No, it says, yeah, okay, it says you first.
It is now removed from the game forever. You can never have the last counter taken off of it, so it's going to be trapped. 48 effectively counters it, but this is 7 mana. I did the math. 1 Lotus Bloom is enough for 7, so Enduring Ideal is going to resolve. 48's got a Venture in his hand, but I'm not sure that's good enough. I mean, bouncing 1 enchantment for 1 turn doesn't seem good enough to me. I think Andre Mueller might have this one.
Might be able to just go form over the next 2 turns.
Sure.
Well, actually, he would lose. No, he has to. What does he get here?
No, form gets bounced and he gets killed by Tarmogoyfs.
He gets confinement.
Yeah, I think Andre wants to keep as much life as possible.
Okay.
Because of that fear of exactly the Venture that we know is in Remy Fortier's hand. I guess he figures if he's on 15, it's going to be hard for 1 bounce of 1 enchantment to mess him up.
Cool.
Down comes Jete.
No.
There's the form of the dragon.
Now he has a redundant.
Yeah,
way
2
of
ways to stop
stopping
the Tarmogoyfs from attacking.
Although, blowing up the blue Honden is.
Sorry?
Blowing up the blue Honden is not a bad plan either with the Venture.
Okay.
Oh, I guess he's going to wait on that
So
one.
my life is 5.
All right. Form of the dragon takes Mueller down to 5. Yep. Venture bounces the form.
No. I think we're wrong.
I don't think so.
He's
No.
looking to change his mind, but
Did he just ask for a take back?
yeah, I think he did.
Yeah, that's not going to happen here. Yeah, I think, did he miss the redundancy? How some confinement had?
Maybe he forgot about the can't attack or can't be targeted or.
I mean, I'm not sure that he.
I don't think it
I really
matters.
like the way Mueller has played this. I think Mueller has set it up where.
Again, Mueller's only dropped 1 match all weekend.
It's true.
Go. 17.
Andrew? 17.
Is this correct?
No, I'm at 15.
We are 15? Sorry.
Excuse me.
All right.
Next he goes and gets the dubscape.
I would think so.
Sure.
There's another Venture. I don't think that's enough at this point, though.
No.
I feel like he had to be a little bit patient.
Yeah.
And wait on the Venture until he could see.
Double them up.
Hope he could see the other one. End of turn 1 Venture
Untap,
1 back,
make the other.
untap and make the other one, and then attack for the win.
Yep.
But as it stands now, just sort of staggering them out there, one at a time, he's not gonna get there.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Syncing them up would have helped anyway. Like, I think Mueller's next play is another form. And now he's got 3 ways to stop the Goyfs.
Right.
Trinket Mage.
For engineered explosives.
Keep playing.
You can hit the confinement with that. Is that the idea?
Guess so, right?
Okay.
Just maybe going to tempt Mueller into getting a dove skate.
So you have 10.
48 at 10 from the form. Yeah, second form. This is lethal next turn. Yeah. And 48 scoops him up. So game one, Andre Mueller. One Lotus Bloom was good enough. The other one got stifled, but Mueller's 7 mana, enough to cast Enduring Ideal, played it safe, didn't open up a window for Venser to hurt him, and he takes a 1-0 lead. Now, what happens to these decks after sideboarding?
Let's take a look. We see 48's options include Pithing Needle, 2 Engineered Explosives, 3 Engineered Plagues, 2 Loxodon Hierarchs, 2 Tormod's Crypts, 2 Putrefies, and 3 Ancient Grudge. Could choose to bring in, I don't know, I don't think he's going to bring a Grudge. Putrefy does not hit enchantments, correct? That's only Mortify hits enchantments.
Right.
So that's not quite going to do it. Not really sure. I guess he brings in additional Engineered Explosives as a way to deal with solitary confinement and then hope to Venser the other key pieces. Maybe he still sees how that game could have played out differently. But it doesn't look like he has a great sideboard for this matchup. As far as Andre Mueller, what's he going to bring in? You know, I mean, he brought in the Pyroclasm, maybe he'll bring in that Cranial Extraction.
Ha.
Yeah, he doesn't, I guess he brings in the Besiegers again.
I think so.
To fight through Counterspell, and then he just has to stagger his...
He needs to be careful and play around Venser.
Yeah, to stagger things for Venser. Again, there's only 2 Vensers.
Right.
So, you know, it's what we've talked about a lot about redundancy and sort of having this better chance off the top of your deck on the cards you need. With only 2, although he does have the tops. So, I see 8 tops in the finals of the Pro Tour. Cards become an extended staple.
Andre Mueller is 27 years old. Pretty much a professional gamer. Does some dealing of cards on the side. 20 Pro Tours on his resume.
See the sideboard so you know whether to get it out.
Qualified via Grand Prix Stockholm. Top 16 there. Does have a couple of GP top 8s.
Yep.
This is his second Pro Tour top 8.
If you care,
He feels like this Enduring Ideal deck beats aggro cold between the Solitary Confinement, Form of the Dragon, which is really easy to shut the aggro deck down, but it is not vulnerable to Graveyard Hate. We were talking about that earlier. There's a lot of degenerate decks in this format. There's a lot of ways that you can sort of go off and do something sort of fundamentally unfair. But now of those decks, what are people ready to beat? You know, the Dredge deck is allegedly the most powerful deck in the format, but it's so vulnerable to Leyline of the Void and Tormod's Crypt. But something like an Ideal deck, maybe not objectively as powerful, but it's a tricky deck to hate out. You gotta have, you know, Kami of Ancient Legative creatures that destroy enchantments.
Right, which
And the dealer sold out of them halfway through Thursday.
It also steers you to a certain type of deck if you're going to do that.
Yeah.
Right. This is an interesting matchup in that the Vensers are just, you know, very good in this. What's kind of interesting is there was a point where the Manual B deck had Riptide Laboratory.
Mm-hmm.
So you could do a recursive Venser. Well, recursive Venser doesn't necessarily sound great, you know, terribly exciting in a lot of matchups.
Right.
It's really exciting in this matchup.
It's true.
Yeah.
Andre explained how he prepared for this tournament. That's kind of interesting that he had sort of all of the qualified Germans from his area. They just took over his house for 5 days. A boot camp, if you will.
Boot camp, yeah. The German players definitely seem to be, you know, we always talk about the Dutch, we always talk about the French, we're
Right.
talking a lot about the Brazilians, you know, obviously always talk about the Japanese, but we've definitely seen a rising tide on
Yeah, I
the
agree.
German Magic scene.
There was a dry spell once Kai retired.
Yeah.
Felt like Kai went away, and it was just this power vacuum, but We've seen a lot of good German players come out in recent years. I mean,
And even a lot of older players. I mean, David Brooker's been around for a long time,
sure.
but he's continued to do well.
Yeah, Mueller's not exactly young.
Yes,
But then you see like a Jan Moritz Merkel come up and win a Pro Tour.
right.
Yeah.
Rosario Mage and
Aaron
some
Brackman,
other guys. Yeah.
some of those guys.
Yeah, Andre seems almost like the herder of the Japanese Magic, of the German Magic scene. He seems to be kind of the guy that's like when German players are getting together to go for dinner after a Pro Tour, he seems to be like, hey guys, all right, let's get sort of pulling it together and driving it, and sort of become an elder statesman for that at 27.
Sure.
For that community.
That used to seem like an elder statesman.
What's that?
That used to seem like an elder statesman. I remember when I was 27.
Well, you always filled that role in your
Yeah, I was
Magic
about
community.
27.
Yeah, sure. You sort of would lead the CMU boot camps,
Sure.
so it's kind of important to have someone take charge.
It's true.
Because people left to their own devices, people just aren't going to play test.
Draft.
They can barely get together to go for dinner, right? Doesn't think about it. Think about just getting your friends together to go for dinner. And unless someone finally says, guys, we're going for pizza, you're going to just sit there and argue and digress, and it's not going to come together, and everyone's going to be hungry. And it's the same way with playtesting. Unless someone really forces that issue in a play group, and someone really takes the lead, starts the mailing list,
You gotta have rules.
distribute. Yeah, you need to have rules.
have
Distribute
rules.
the deck
You-
list that you're going to playtest this. You're going to playtest this matchup.
And you can't veto dinner unless you suggest another option.
Right.
You gotta have rules about these things.
Right. Sure, it's very important. So we're underway here.
17.
I love how there's so much life change in Extended without anything happening. You play a couple lands, someone's
Yep.
at 17, someone's at 19.
Dark Confidant's a pretty good start. Speaking of changing life totals with, well, I guess there's definitely something happening. Fortier surveys his options. They include Tarmogoyf, Vite, and sitting on Counterspell.
Counterbalance hits play. How many sevens does Fournier have in his deck?
You were taking me, so
Okay. Fine.
it's my second.
Totals.
16.
Reveals thirst for knowledge.
Takes 3.
He's at 13 already.
16.
He's given himself done one full form of the dragon hit to himself already.
Go.
There's the Tarmogoyf.
Slow start for Andre.
Yeah, he's only got he's got 3 lands,
That
but
looks a lot better with 2 suspended Lotus Blue.
it really does. Fortier is losing the race to his own Dark Confidant, though.
His lands aren't helping him either.
No.
Looks like he hit a land.
13.
And and a top. So now we have Counterbalance top in place.
Yep.
We have Dark Confidant top in place. We have Tarmogoyf in face.
Well, Mueller draws the Seiju. Also got a Seething Song in his hand.
I think he also has a Burning Wish.
Yep.
Oh, and the eponymous Enduring Radiant.
Is he good to go next turn?
Might be able to go with Orm's Chant backup.
Give that much mana?
6, 7.
9?
Seething Song goes down to 4, 9.
I don't know if the colors work out though.
Okay.
All right.
That's kind of interesting.
What's that?
Remy discarded 2 cards to Thirst for Knowledge. One of them was an artifact.
Huh.
Just, I guess, to stock up for his Tarmogoyf. He did bring in the Ancient Grudges.
6.
Okay.
7. You have 9?
Wants to hit those
Mueller's
bad
down to
guys.
7.
Okay.
Time to go for it.
You just
Well, ideal.
counter Seething Song if you can, right?
No, he doesn't even go for Seething Song, just the 7.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
That's 5.
What is
Yeah,
that?
I'm dead then. The Venser can handle the ideal, right?
Oh, he's got the Venser.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Yep, Venture's the ideal, and that's the game.
And that's what Andre was talking about when he said he was scared of Venser.
All right, 1 game apiece. Boseiju was part of the action. Mueller got to 7, threw the Boseiju. Venser doesn't care anything about that can't be counted stuff. It's not actually countering the spell, just returning it from the stack into your hand. Totally different from countering it, clearly.
It's fair.
Interest.
Cast it again next turn off your
Land.
1 land.
Yeah.
Okay, I play first.
I also like it when neither player is going through a charade there. Mueller's just like,
I am
stack them all.
Enduring Ideal.
I'm gonna cast Enduring Ideal. I've got Venser. I lose. Maybe they've got dinner plans. Did we find a restaurant that's open in this town? It's usually a staff dinner on Sunday night, but Valencia is weird.
I mean,
At least as an American. Maybe it's just me, but
yeah. I'm more concerned about finding a table to draft at tonight.
finding a table to draft at, also very important. Probably more important than eating. There's tables in the hall. What time does the hall close?
That's true. I don't know. There's a PT key going on today, so they're going to be here pretty late.
It's probably huge. There were like 300 people in yesterday's
Yeah, there was
PTQ.
328 players in yesterday's
328?
Yeah. 450 players in Friday Night Magic.
Wow. And that Friday Night Magic, that was even with the site closed until 6.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of Magic played here in this building this
Yeah.
weekend. It's been pretty cool.
Spain has been apparently just a great, growing, thriving Magic community.
They almost put a guy in the top 8 too.
He was right there for most of the tournament. He lost in the last round, right? Playing for top 8.
Yep.
It was
Emilio Lopez Campos
yeah.
wound up 15th.
Yep.
Game 3 has started. Andre suspended a Lotus Bloom on his first turn.
Made a down payment on an Enduring Ideal.
Plays a sack land, and here's the top. Pretty good start from Mueller.
It's so interesting to me how decks come together over blocks. These were just unplayable lands
Right.
when Invasion came out.
Right.
Everyone just was like, people, you played them in draft
Yeah.
and whatnot, but, I guess Balancing Kings came out.
Yeah, there were decks that used to sack all their lanes.
Yeah.
There was one before that. What was the one back in the day? Oh, you could play, like, Equipoise decks. Sack all your
Oh,
lands.
sure.
Chrome Mox, removing a thirst for knowledge. Trinket Mage comes down. Yeah, he should be able to get a Chalice of the Void here. I don't understand why he doesn't have one Chalice of the Void.
Right, and it's great. You can just play it on turn 3, Chalice for 0, 0.
Right. Seems like the deck
Maybe
should
it
have
wasn't-
one
maybe-
Chalice. I mean, he can do other things in other matchups, too, I would think.
No, Chalice is great. It's great against a lot of the aggro decks. You can just shut out the zoo decks of their one toughness
Yep,
creatures,
right.
one castle cost creatures.
What did he actually get? Top?
Yeah.
Top.
I think it's there mostly just to get top.
Seems like it. Which is fine.
Top and crypt.
Yeah, there's clearly matchups you want to go get a crypt.
Yeah, it also lets him get a seat of the sign out if he desperately needs a land. Andre's biding his time.
18.
Here comes counterbalance.
48 plays a counterbalance.
There's your top.
No.
Hand to top. Taps down to one land with a counterspell in hand. Isn't that Lotus Bloom about to resolve?
Well, if he puts a land on top of his deck with counterbalance, he can counter it.
Oh. That's a good point. Has to hope not to go over 3. I think this is actually the game. If he whiffs, if he pulls up spell, I think he just loses.
Thins his deck of a land first to make it a little more
Yeah,
dramatic.
of course.
Taking 2 life there.
Nope.
Yep. He is. He's activating his top.
Oh, right. You just activate the top, of course.
Doesn't want to just...
Is that spell?
No.
Okay. Artifact land. Yep. Counters the Lotus.
So is he considered
2, 4, 5.
blue, white, black, red?
Seeding Song is
Blue,
good
black,
enough.
red for the seeding song.
Yeah.
White for the enduring idea.
Wow.
Many cards?
Remy Fortier has a counterspell in his hands, but he tapped out for counterbalance instead. Knew he could counter the Lotus.
So I go to 5 and it's your turn.
Wow.
4-turn clock here for Remy Fortier.
What do you think? Was he supposed to tap out there? The basic question is, can he leave counterspell up for the rest of the game? Now he counters one activation.
Yeah, I'm at 11.
Counters that turn's version of Enduring Ideal.
What does that have? Or whatever.
Throne of the Dragon still takes him to 11. Is there anything relevant that Mueller can get by topping? He's just looking for...
Well, he doesn't want to draw his enchantments.
Okay, he can not draw his enchantments.
Right. So he would have drawn the blue Honda in there had he not topped.
All right, fair enough. That's
That
not
was
good.
the top card.
seems pretty clever to. He can counter the Lotus Bloom. I'm still trying to figure out if he's supposed to play counterbalance there.
I'm just
extremely
done a very
likely-
good job of not letting people
So I'll go back to 5.
see
Other than
any
Sam Stein.
excitement.
Sam Stein could read him. Nobody else seems able to read him.
Sure.
I mean, what is 48 looking for?
I mean, obviously, he's going to look for Vencers.
Yeah, but that doesn't even do anything.
Well, if he
He
can
needs
set up
5 power.
Right.
Yep.
Not looking great for Remy 48. Sure looks like Andre Mueller's going to take a 2-1 lead here. Be 1 game away from winning the Pro Tour. 48 just pay for a land? Yeah, 48 played for a land, lowering the clock by a turn.
I'm just trying to figure out what could this kid be doing. I've got him dead.
Yeah, there it is. Andre
Remy's,
Mueller, 2-1 lead. He is 1 game away from winning Pro Tour Valencia.
I mean, Remy's shown a lot of fight, but he also hasn't shown that he's willing to fight past common sense. Right? I mean, when he's been in the game, when he's had some outs, he's pursued them. But you know, none. All right, let's
Yeah.
move on.
So 4 mana. You've got your hand is counterbalance top. Or is the top already in play?
No, the top was not in play.
Right, so he played the top, played the counterbalance, left 1 mana left to activate the top
Right.
to counter the Lotus Bloom. His other play, he can just play the top and leave up counterspell. But then the Lotus Bloom's going to resolve. He's not going to counter the Lotus Bloom.
Right. And he's got to worry. I mean, there's a lot of stuff he has to worry about there. He has to worry about Orm's chant.
Sure. I think his play is totally defensible.
Yeah.
I actually think it's fine.
I mean, he knows the Lotus Bloom's coming. He doesn't know if he's got a Seething Song in hand or any other kind of
Right, he
mana
doesn't know
killer.
about the Seething Song or the Enduring Ideal. So Mueller's got to have the right 2-card combination in his hand to punish him for that decision.
Right.
I think it was right. I mean, I think I would have done the same thing if I was Remy 48. I think setting up top balance and countering a known Lotus Bloom takes away a lot of Mueller's flexibility. Takes away future Orm chance and things. Did not work out though. Did not work out.
And Jim's taking a quick look
ahead.
through the deck.
This area is missing an airstream.
Don't worry.
Andre Mueller uses his pocket as an ashtray.
There's not a lot of people smoking in here, so. There's not a lot of people smoking in here, so.
That's not what I'm talking about. I meant like garbage bin.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. Whatever.
Andre Mueller looks very calm, confident, comfortable.
Yep. When he's talking, that might be his tell.
Have
when he talks more when he's feeling good.
we heard Remy 48 say a word?
No.
The entire top 8.
No.
I'm not sure I've heard him say a word.
Other than mandatory like game state.
I can't even. I'm trying to listen to his voice in my head. I have no image of him. He's worried about whatever homework he's got for high school tomorrow morning.
He can bribe the teacher.
22 grand, good enough.
Didn't he just win like a starting teacher's salary or something?
I don't know how much French teachers get paid. Certainly for an American teacher. That's about right. Well, the exchange rate is not doing these guys any favors right now.
That's true. Yeah, I'm sure foreign pros are rooting for a regime change in the United States. pieces again.
48's got some stuff, but not a lot of it is relevant to this matchup. Tarmogoyf and Jitte are not the clock that he needs to race. Counterbalance can do a little bit, but meanwhile, what did we see from Mueller? Seeding Song,
Everything he needs.
Burning Wish, everything.
Yeah.
He's got the ideal in hand.
Okay.
48 does play that Tarmogoyf.
What do you think about Remy 48's just how he's handled himself in his first top 8?
And you gotta, he's in the finals.
Yeah.
He fought some tough matches in the quarters. I mean, it looks right now like he might be a little fried. Almost anybody would be.
Get in for one.
18.
There's the counterbalance.
So if he can float a Trinket Mage, he can keep Seething Songs off the table. Out of the picture.
Right. Well, he doesn't have a top.
Yeah.
50.
What do you think of the sideboard at Ancient Grudges?
Seems okay.
Yeah.
Like the way Mueller's cracking his fetch lands on his turn to make sure they don't get stifled.
Ah, 17.
Tarmogoyf comes over for one. Burning Wish here if you're Mueller.
Apparently.
It's probably rooting for it to get countered. Well, maybe not by this. Is that Fencer?
Yep, that's Fencer.
Interesting. What does he get? Cranial Extraction. Play that next turn. He's not under a lot of pressure.
Triangle.
Here comes Thirst for Knowledge.
Okay.
He's got Artifact, Instant, and Land now.
3.
14.
Yeah, Mueller takes 3. It does have a counterspell in his hand.
He does have a Venser in his hand. He does have a Stifle in his hand.
So what's Mueller's play here? Extraction? Not under that much pressure. Tarmogoyf is a 3-3.
He's going to arms chant.
Oh, sure. Does not get lucky off the counterbalance. If 48 lets this resolve, he probably just loses, right? 2, 4, 5. He loses to Seething Song Ideal.
Okay.
What do we see on top? Tarmogoyf?
Yes.
So that's not going to counter Seething Song. Seething Song Ideal
We have,
resolves
a, we,
here.
have, we have a crack land here.
Oh, we can shuffle.
We can mix it up.
I think you got to go for it here, right?
Red, black, white, and blue. Red, black, and blue play Seething Song, white in the board.
Crack a land. Hope for the best.
Yeah, 48's going to go get a land, shuffle, really hoping to flip Trinket Mage.
Hoping
How many
for-
3s does he have?
He's got 3 Trinket Mages. I don't know what he's brought in from his sideboard.
Big
but
flip.
He's got 4 Thirst for Knowledge.
Big flip. Andre Mueller's going
It's
to
either
get to
Thirst for
resolve
Knowledge or
enduring.
Trinket Mage. Show us a blue card.
Oh, it's a land. Seething Song resolves. There's the white. Mueller plays 2 life. Comes into play untapped, and here is Enduring Ideal. Andre Mueller leads this Pro Tour Championship match 2-1. The whole point of his deck is to cast Enduring Ideal and start putting enchantments into play. Slowly but surely will build a lock that prevents Remy 48 from doing anything.
Doesn't get Form of the Dragon. He knows about the Venser.
He knows about the Venser,
Doesn't
doesn't
wanna
want to go
go
down to 5. He can upkeep Solitary Confinement on his own for a couple of turns.
Oh, okay.
Hit the takes.
Mueller takes 0. 's got a stifle, right?
Yes.
We can stop 1 turn of the Epic Effect. Mueller's got 4 cards in hand.
Which are only fodder.
Right.
How many cards you have in hand?
But I mean, it's basically 4 turns. He can upkeep Confinement even before he gets Blue Honda.
Just put them stack.
Okay, counterspells the Epic Effect.
Is it? Alright. Then I discard the extraction.
Okay.
And go. 11.
Right? End of the turn, get a land, Venser the Solitary Confinement.
You think he does it now?
I think so. Then he can he stifle the next Epic?
Yes. There's Venser to bounce Confinement. How big is Tarmogoyf?
Sorcery, instant, land, artifact.
Is
There's
there
a
an
seed of the
artifact?
there's a seed of the Synod in his graveyard.
Oh, and Jite, yeah, I think Remy 40
I
is
think
going to
Remy's
win
got
this
this.
game.
Yeah.
Which creature you take? Graveyard?
No.
No creature? So it's only instant sorcery, artifact, land.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's
Alright,
like
so this guy's 4, 6,
5.
I will 6.
That's 5.
No, it takes 6 damage. This guy's 4.
This was from your question.
Yeah, you have
You're subtracting from your total. So this is
Okay. Donc c'est donc là il a 6. Non
6 to 11.
The Jite counters means I think Remy 48,
No.
he needs to stifle. There's the stifle,
That's game.
and that's game.
Sgotto.
Andre Mueller can't cast any spells. Wow, we are going to game 5.
Remy's obviously drawn a lot of support here. The big hand for Remy 48.
Wow. Mueller got off his combo. But Remy 48, between a Venser, a counterspell, and a stifle, bought himself the 3 turns he needed to attack for lethal damage.
And he was able to just keep pace with the epic.
Yeah, just barely. Yeah, he had 3 answers. It's like bounce 1, counterspell 1, stifle 1. That was good enough.
Again, remember, these players have not had the benefit of a lot of time to think about sideboarding.
Sure.
Not that you give a lot of time to the finals. You spend most of your preparation
Yeah, on your quarters.
on your quarters, but sometimes you give it some thought.
Sure.
These guys barely had time to think about that quarter sideboarding. Yeah, Saturday was a grueling.
Yeah. 10 rounds of Magic.
It's interestingly not the longest day of Magic,
No, most rounds, I think.
but the most rounds.
Yeah, I remember back before DCI Reporter actually worked all the time. It was at Pro Tour Chicago where they sent us on a dinner break at 11 p.m. They were like, all right, we got to fix the pairings. You guys go eat. Come back in an hour. We'll tell you what's up. They had like 2 rounds left. I think we played 1 round and then they moved the other one to the next day. So I've seen longer days, but Saturday was it was a lot of Magic. Especially like sitting around waiting is not as draining as actually playing.
And you can see, Andre Mueller does not have he has decisions to make. But he doesn't play a lot of turns of Magic.
Right.
Ryan
48, yeah.
plays a lot of turns. His deck does not
Doesn't win quick.
just cast a spell and win.
Right. Yeah, there's no deal breaker spell. You got to string together 3 turns like he just did.
He's usually
He looks a little beat. Looks a little frayed around the edges. I don't know. Maybe he always looks like that, but
a little bit of a smile there.
he's got to feel good about that game. He beat and resolved Enduring Ideal, and he wins 3 turns later. That doesn't happen very often.
But Andre identified before the match. He said, "Venture's
Venture's
a problem for me."
It's true, and both games have been Venture, right?
Right.
One of 48's wins was to Venture the Enduring Ideal itself after Mueller had sacked all his lands, and then that game was Venture to bounce the solitary confinement to clear a path for damage.
Right. To counter and stifle the next
Yeah,
2.
this time Venture needed a little help in game 4, but
All right, we're
clearly both of Remy 48's wins have been behind Venture. All right, no Lotus Bloom on the first turn for Mueller.
First turn
First turn
Dark
Confidant for Remy 48.
Yeah,
That's a
French
pretty good
player.
start. Some pressure and some card flow.
There's a ripple of excitement through the room
This
here.
has been a great match.
Both players have gotten their
Is that
decks
Venture?
had an opportunity to do what they want. No, that's Trinket Mage.
Oh, Trinket Mage, sorry. Takes 3, but gets a Trinket Mage. And then plays the Trinket Mage. It's
Probably
a
gonna
top,
get a
probably.
Top or yep.
Yeah, there's Sensei's Divining Top. 48 got a little more pep in his step.
He seems
It's a
pretty
quick
well
shuffle.
rested right now.
Mueller seems a little concerned.
Wow.
I think Mueller would just be happier if Remy wanted to talk to him.
Oh, there we go. We heard him say go. He said his first word of the tournament.
I didn't hear it.
There's
There's Leseju. Chrome Mox for 0. .48 looks over his options. Does have a counterspell in his hand. Leseju that makes that worth not a ton. Probably gonna play a top here.
top or Tarmogoyf. Both.
There's Tarmogoyf
Yep. That's both.
and the top. So no ability to counter anything right now.
But it doesn't look without a prism or a Lotus Bloom. I don't, see how Andre has a way to make both the red and white mana.
Remy goes to use his top. Mueller takes the opportunity to crack a fetch land without risking stifle.
There's a shaper savant. There's a stifle.
Look at his hand starting to shake a little bit.
Yeah, he's seeing everything
He's
he
starting
needs.
to see it. It's game 5 of the Pro Tour. All I got to do is win this one.
Getting a little bit of a Bob Marr, Brian Davis situation here, where the crowd is
No?
reacting to the cards in hand.
14?
They can smell blood in the water. There's a lot of French being spoken in this room right now.
Crowd is on the edge of their seat. This is awesome. Mueller down to 9.
Oh.
Seven
Mueller goes for it.
and 5.
And
There's
Vencer.
Vencer, and there's the handshake.
Congratulations.
And Remy Fortier. 3 games to 2. All 3 games on the back of Vencer. Wow.
And barely an expression change.
There's the smile. There it comes. He starts to realize the enormity of what he's accomplished. At 16 years old, he's a Pro Tour champion. He's got $40,000. He's got 25 pro points. Wow. Welcome to the Pro Tour, Remy Fortier. You are on the train, and it looks like you're going to be here for a while. And great tournament for Mueller as well. Andre played a fine-tuned the deck, put together the boot camp, got the deck together, made a run. This is only the second match he lost the entire weekend. And he had the combo all 5 games. Actually, cast Enduring Ideal all 5 games.
Je suis d'accord.
But Vencer, the Shaper Savant.
Creature-based permission and disruption is what this deck is vulnerable to.
That's exactly right. It's a
Andre. Congratulations, man.
wow.
Wow.
There's another handshake, yeah. Mueller knows he did what he could. He didn't do anything wrong. His head's going to be held up high. A lot of Vencers for Remy Fortier. Whew.
That was a great match.
Great match of Magic. Crowd was totally into it. That was awesome.
We were totally into it.
Yeah, it was good Magic. So what do you think of this extended format? The dust is settled. Apparently, countertop Goif thing is the best deck in the format? Maybe?
Enduring Ideal has clearly shown itself
Sure.
to be a monster in the middle of the room
Yes.
in the format. It's capable of winning very quickly, very difficult to disrupt. I mean, some very, very specific cards.
Right.
In terms of, Rotom Unicorn, etc. But even then, we saw with Seal of Primordium on the table, it wasn't enough.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're trying to grab one of these decks off the shelf untested, grab the Ideal deck. It's
I don't know if I'd grab it off the shelf untested.
I wouldn't play Remy's deck. I mean, that thing is complicated.
Yes,
There's
absolutely.
so many interactions in that deck. I think it's like, if you want a deck that you can go take to the PEs and run for a couple of weeks and really learn and master, yeah, I think that the Trinket Mage deck looks like the one to play. I think the Enduring Ideal, though, extremely powerful.
Absolutely.
Clearly very capable of winning any given tournament. And I think that the way the Germans tweaked their version of it, they added a level of consistency.
Yes.
With the fetch land top
I
engine,
think
getting
that's
the Draco explosion nonsense out of there.
I think that's the zenith of the build right now. I mean, it's of everything we've seen, it was clearly the best version.
Yeah, I agree. So 2 great decks, 2 great players.
Don't sell your Tron lands anytime soon.
Absolutely fair. That deck also, a couple of Tron decks made a run. Rock isn't dead.
No,
Something for everybody in this extended format, clearly. There's PTQ round coming up early next year, I believe.
And look at the deck tech we did with Zach Hill. I really like that deck. I really like the interaction of Cabal Rocket Nail, Cabal Coffers, and Urborg to accelerate your mana instead of Urza's lands
Sure.
or Cloud Posts or any of the other. It was just sort of a new wrinkle to the big mana deck.
So what's the thing you're most going to remember?
I'm going to remember, being woken up at 2 in the morning to learn that the site had been flooded. And, for the second time in a few years, we might not be getting a Pro Tour. Almost.
It's been a crazy weekend. It's been a crazy weekend, but great top 8, great magic. We are ready now for the award ceremony. For Brian David Marshall, this is Randy Buehler. We will see you next time. Let's take it over to Scott Larrabee.
Hello and welcome to the 2007 Pro Tour Valencia Awards Ceremony. Assisting me today will be head judge Jaap Brouwer. Before we begin, I have 2 awards that were previously presented. In 4th place, winning $14,000 from Japan, Shuhei Nakamura. And in 3rd place, winning $15,000 from Italy, Giulio Barra. And now the 2007 Pro Tour Valencia finalist, winning $22,000 from Germany, Andre Müller. And now, the 2007 Pro Tour Valencia champion, winning $40,000 from France, Remy Portier. Once again, let's hear it for the 2007 Pro Tour Valencia champion, Remy Portier. I'd like to thank all the players, staff, and judges for making 2007 Pro Tour Valencia such a great success. We'll see you in New York City, December 5th through 9th for the 2007 World Championships. Thank you and good night.